Hello Year 6 and welcome to Wednesday's English session. So today we're going to do something completely new, something different, but it's still going to link in with the writing that you've already worked so hard on at home. We are going to do a planning session today. So all that you will need for today is the planning sheet, the grid that we usually use in school, the exact same one. It has been saved onto the website, so if you have a printer at home, you can print it off. If you don't have a printer, don't worry because you don't need one. All you need is a blank piece of paper and you need to just draw out the correct symbols. So you need your character box with the high and low arrow, and then you just need 4 circles for your plot points. So you can draw that out nice and easy if you don't have a printer. If you need to get that sorted, then pause the video and make sure you are all sorted before you carry on. So this week we're going to use the writing that you've already done to help us. So we are going to be telling the story of one of the other boys and their crimes. So we're going to do it in exactly the same style that we told Stanley's story. So it's going to be in a flashback style. And we're going to use the same 4 plot point themes to keep us on track. The first thing we need to do is decide which character we're going to write from the point of view of. So, as a starter, can you remember the names of the other boys that are mentioned in the book? So, grab a piece of paper and pause the video and see if you can write down as many as you can remember. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you couldn't remember any or if you could only remember 1 or 2. So far in the book, we have been introduced to Squid, X-Ray, Magnet, Armpit, and Zigzag. So those are all their nicknames. We know some of their real names, but that's the names they like to go by. And they also talk about Bath Bag, but we know that he's not at the camp anymore. He has gone to the hospital, but he is still a key character, so we could still use him in our story because he still committed a crime and got sent to Camp Green Lake. So the first thing you need to do is choose which one of those characters you're going to write from their viewpoint, okay? Their nicknames might give you a clue to something linked to their crime, or they might be completely random. But remember, we're making it up because we just don't know anything about them yet. So, on your planning sheet, in your character box, you need to decide who your character is going to be. So, you can either just write the name of, or draw a picture of the character that you are going to write from the viewpoint of. So it can be Squid, X-Ray, Bath Bag, Magnet, Armpit, or Zigzag. It doesn't really matter which one you choose because we don't really know much about any of them. But the name might give you a clue as to what you want their crime to be. So you could link it that way, but it doesn't have to be. So in that box, either draw a picture of what you think they look like or write their name. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is start to map out each of your plot points like we do in school all the time. So you should be experts at this. So these plot points are going to follow the exact same structure as our previous story with Stanley. Okay, so we're doing the same structure, but obviously the content and the context of the crime is going to be different. So we need 4 of our boxes. So what I have done is I've put what we had for our Stanley overview because that's the sort of lines you're going to follow, but that's not all you're going to write in your plan. You're going to write more detail. So when you get to the third box, say the crime box, now I put crime instead of theft because the other boys might have committed different crimes. It might not have been stealing things, but it might have. You're going to write in some detail, some notes to help you, or draw a picture to help you remember what the crime is for your character and what happened, okay? So the present day is going to be similar to our Stanley story because they are all at the camp still, unless you're talking about Bath Bag, which might be a little bit different because he's not there. So present day is going to be similar to our story. So they start at Camp Green Lake. The rest of the story, so the 3 other boxes, are going to be completely different because the crime is going to be different because we're talking about a different character. But we're following in the same steps. So the second box is going to be about the morning of the crime for your character. What happened that morning when they woke up? The third box is going to be them actually committing the crime. And the fourth box is going to be what happened. How did they end up in Camp Green Lake? How did they get caught? Okay, so you're going to, like we do in school, write extra details in each of the circles. I've just put the headings there to remind you of what's going to happen at that point in the story. So pause the video and have a go at writing in your details. But remember that these boys have been sent to a detention centre. They're not in jail, so don't make their crimes too extreme. Okay, so they haven't been sent to jail for their crime. So think about realistically what their crime might be. Okay, now we have got the main bit down. All we need to do now, and like I said, we've all do this already in school, is you're going to map out the highs and lows of each plot point. So you've only got 4 to go. So think about, when we're thinking about present day, is the character going to be positive or negative? Okay, that's up to you. They might be positive because they enjoy digging holes and they enjoy being with the other boys, or it might be negative because they absolutely hate Camp Green Lake. And then as the time goes along, you're going to map out with an X, high or low, what's going to happen to that character in that point. So have a pause of the video now and just map out your positive and negative plot points. Okay, now once you have done this, and remember this will all seem really familiar to you because we do it in school all the time, you need to focus on one key skill that you're going to choose for each of those 4 plot points. Now I've put a picture of our writing rainbow that we use in school to remind you of the symbol. So you might say that in the first bit, when we're talking about present day, you might choose to do an action sentence as your focus sentence. So you would draw the symbol there or write action. Okay, so have a look. Which 4 key skills do you want to push yourself in making sure that you include? And remember, you can include more than 4, but this is your key focus one that you're going to ensure that you definitely put into your story. So pause the video now and have a go at putting it in. Okay, so now you should have all 4 plot points. They should all have details in what's going to happen at that point of the story. They should all have a high or low cross marker to give you guidance on whether it's going to be a positive moment or a negative moment. And they should all have a key skill mapped out for which skill you're going to focus on in each part. Now, what we need to do is a final thing. You need to think of and write the focus sentence for each plot point. So say for the first one, I've chosen to put adverbials. I might choose to start my sentence with a fronted adverbial. And now I'm going to think, what sentence could I write that is going to fit in to the point of the story that I'm writing at? So it needs to make sense. And I'm just going to write it either at the top or the bottom, somewhere that it will fit. So when we come to write tomorrow and on Monday, you already have 1 sentence ready to go for each plot point to either get you started or to give you some ideas. Now remember, this is just our focus skill. It doesn't mean that this is the only skill that you're going to use. So pause the video now and have a good think and map out each sentence for each plot point. Okay, that is all we are going to do today. So you have fully planned out your narrative for one of the other boys' stories, okay? Now, tomorrow and on Monday is going to be a little bit different because your story this time is completely independent. We're not going to give you any guidance like we have before. But what we want you to do is have a go at writing it. So rather than a video, we're going to just put out which plot points you need to write, and you need to give yourself enough time like we do in school. You need to use your plot map, your plan to help you. So you'll have a key sentence ready to go and you'll be able to write those points, okay? So you don't need to plan out the vocab like we do in our guided sessions, but you need to think about what skills you're using. The writing rainbow will be up on the website so you can have a look at the other skills you can choose and to give you a little bit of guidance. If you are completely stuck in the independent writing, then don't worry and give us an email and we can help you out, okay? So we look forward to seeing what you get up to and how your writing goes as the few days progress. Well done for completing your plan.